The Raleigh Equipe from the 1980s is a true blast from Britain's cycling past. Designed as an entry-level racer, it packs serious style with bold paint jobs, steel tubing and classic down tube shifters. It wasn't the lightest on the road, but it made up for it with character, reliability and an unmistakable vintage charm. Perfect for weekend spins or urban commutes, the Equipe offers a smooth ride and a nostalgic nod to the simpler cycling days. You see lots of bikes in this sort of condition on Facebook Marketplace, and a lot of people look at them and they think they're just ready for the scrap heap. But if you take a closer look, it's usually just, or sometimes it's just they need a puncture repair done to them. Tyres and inner tubes, I mean that's a bit past a repair job, but tyres, inner tubes, replacing the cables and doing all the bearings, service the bearings, re-grease them, and you've got a really good bike. So with this bike I plan on getting it back on the road again, and I'm going to make some modifications to improve it. If you ever had a bike from this era, this is from the late 80s, and you had these sort of brakes, got that in the kit? If you had these sort of brakes and the chrome plated steel wheels, you'll remember how bad the braking performance on them were. So I intend to improve the braking performance substantially. As for the friction changing gears, I seem to remember when I was younger and I had a bike similar to this with these type gears on the down tube. I used to put the chain in the third sprocket on the back. There would have been five gears on the back. I used to put it in the middle one at the back, and I just used to change the front derailleur, so it's just on off. So I was basically just using 2 gears. As for changing it, I don't know yet. What would you do? So the bike is now up in the stand, and as with any rebuild, you have to start off with stripping it down and cleaning all the parts. When I first get a bike nowadays, the first thing I do, before I even consider going to do any work on it, is go around all the nuts and bolts and put a little bit of oil on them. Then I just leave them for a week or 2. I believe this helps so much in the strip down process of any of the seized nuts and bolts. I'm going to be putting modern dual pivot brake calipers on this. So while I've got the forks out, I'm going to open up the hole on the back of the fork to accept that. That's got to drop in there, so it'll be flush to there. So the original front derailleur that was on this bike was bent and it just wasn't moving properly. So I'm going to try this one. It's a Shimano one. See how it goes. The wheels that I'm going to be using have a slightly wider axle between here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to stretch this out a little bit. What I'm using, a bit of threaded stud here. I've clamped one side, nuts and bolts. So I've got a washer, and with this now I'll just keep on opening it a little bit. Of course it's a little bit springy, so I have to go a little bit past the dimension I actually want, but with a little bit of trial and error I should be able to get it to somewhere near. I think I want 130, so I need to stretch by 10 mil. Okay, so that's the frame. That's at 130. I did go past the 130 stage, so I had to put a nut on this end to bend it back again. That's about right. There is a little bit of flex in the frame itself, so you don't have to be exact, but hopefully within 2 mil should see you good. And let's just try the wheel. There you go, that's a perfect fit, that is. This wheel, by the way, it's nothing special. These are the sort of standard wheel that a lot of bikes come with, and they usually get swapped out for some more fancy wheels pretty shortly after the bike's been purchased. These are actually from a Decathlon bike, and likewise the tyres. These are, as you can see, nothing fancy, but they're pretty good tyres. Should last a while. So the gears, on the old bike it was a 6-speed. Now I'll put this on, this is an 8-speed cassette. The biggest sprocket on the old one was, I think it was 26 teeth on it. This one's 30. Okay, I'm not sure whether this derailleur will work with it, but it's all an experiment. We'll have to wait and see what happens. On these old derailleurs, it's really easy to see how these high and low limits work. As you see, as I go forward with this one, the bottom of that screw is prevented to go any further by that, so I can adjust that to make it go further. And likewise with the other one, as this comes backwards, that's being stopped by that. So with these adjustments, I can set the limits of how far the derailleur moves. So the original bike came with 6-speed on the back here. I've put an 8-speed on there, but the problem I've got now is the derailleur hasn't got enough movement. I've taken this limit all the way off, and that'll only go to there, so it won't get into that last gear there. So it's gone from 6 to an 8-speed, and I can only use 7 of these sprockets. I'm hoping the combination of the alloy wheels and the dual pivot brakes are going to improve the braking a whole lot. These are Tektro R315. I drilled the back hole to accept that. I'm going to use a washer, an M8 washer as well. I drilled it out to 8.1 millimeters. I left the front as it was. On the rear brake, I had to drill all the way through because I couldn't get a drill to come in this way, so I just drilled all the way through from that side. Again, 8.1 millimeters. It's just the right size to take for that to fit. Nice snug fit. Again, I'm going to use a little washer, a little M8 washer there. So as you can see on the rear one, it's right on the end of its adjustment. The front one, if you can see that, the front one probably had another 7mm adjustment left in it, so a little bit of difference there. So I've taken the Raleigh Equipe out to its first test ride, and how does she ride? She rides very nice. The improvements I've made to the brakes, it's just transformed the bike. It's so much better at stopping. So the gears are working nicely. You can go up and down through the gears. Obviously you still can't use the biggest sprocket. But hey, that's okay. I've got one extra gear for that. On the front, as for this, if you remember, I ditched the old ones because it was bent and it wasn't functioning properly. This is just something I found in my drawer of spare parts, and it works fine. No issues with it at all. I changed the tube as well, seat tube. My attempt at doing the bar tape, well, so I could do a bit more practice on that. If you enjoyed this video, please remember to like and subscribe. Thank you.